Sripada Srivallabha, Chapter 10, Part 3, 4, 5, and 6. Part 3, The Nature of Sripada. Bapnarya, you are a boy of 3 years. You are uttering words that are much beyond your age. Are you omniscient? Sripada, you all are thinking that my age is 3 years, but I do not think so. My age is many lakhs of years. I was in existence prior to this creation. I would continue even after the great pralaya. I would be there during the activities of creation. Creation, sustenance, and liquidation would not take place without me. I observe all this as a witness. Bapnare Sripada, if a small child simply imagines that he is on the moon, it does not mean that he actually is on the moon. One must have direct experience. Omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence are the attributes of the Lord of the universe only. Sripada, I am the primordial nature that steadily exists all the times at all places. My existence reveals itself in accordance with the particular requirements of a particular time and place. It does not imply that I am not in existence at a particular place merely because I did not reveal myself. I stay in the Anamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vigyanmaya, and Anandamaya koshas. These koshas carry on their functions only because of my presence. If I give you an experience of my dwelling in a particular kosha, you will feel that I am in that kosha. However, it does not mean that I do not reside in the other koshas. Simply because I did not give you an experience there. I pervade at all times and all places. My knowledge and wisdom is at my feet. This creation was formed on the basis of my will. What is there to wonder in saying that I am omnipotent? Appal Raja Sharma, my dear, you are an enigma for us since your childhood. You are repeatedly saying that you are in Lord Datta. You are also declaring again and again that you will come in another incarnation under the name Narsimha Saraswati. People are like crows. They are commenting in various ways, determining your actions as histrionics, mentally imbalanced, idiocy, and jewelful tricks. We are Brahmins. It is better that we observe the righteous acts prescribed for us. Going beyond that and proclaiming that we are incarnation and divine personages would be considered as arrogance. Sripada Father, I do not deny what you say. However, I must speak truth only. When the matter of my milk debt came up, I felt entertained if I ever that I am not Lord Datta. Even after the 5 elements testified that it is so, would I not be guilty of speaking untruth? If someone tells the sun shining in the sky that he is not the sun, will the sun become someone else? Truth is conditioned by space and time. The Brahmins of Pitikapuram are experiencing human nature, feeling that they are living bodies and individuals. In the same manner, I am reminding you again and again that I am Datta. With omniscience, omnipresence, and omnipotence as my nature, aeons may pass on. Many worlds may undergo creations, sustenance, and annihilations, but how is it that I, who am Datta himself, cannot be Datta? Bapnare Sripada, only one copper vessel remained instead of 31 after the departure of the assisting. Have you played any trick and caused them to disappear? Sripada, everything will happen due to some cause cropping up from time and fate. No action is possible without a cause. This is a law in nature that cannot be violated. Subhaya Shrishti was a priest in Datta temple located in a forest region during his previous life. People rarely visited this Datta temple in the forest region. He was mad with lust for women, obsessed with the desire for women. He sought to sell away the big copper idol of Datta, which was worshipped by his ancestors from ancient times. He gave the money thus received to his mistress. He told people that the Datta idol was stolen by the thieves. The ascetic who came here was a goldsmith entangled in worldly affairs in his previous life. In his previous birth as a goldsmith, he melted the statue of Datta out of greed for money. He is now born in this life as a very poor man. As a priest served the idol of Datta for many years, he is now born in this life in a wealthy family on account of that merit. The idol of Datta, which was melted in their previous lives, was made into 32 copper vessels and was sold. The goldsmith was worshipping Lord Narasimha. He made these copper vessels in the presence of Lord Narasimha. Therefore, on account of the will of God, the essential attributes of 32 incarnation of Lord Narasimha entered into the copper vessels. The ascetic who had knowledge of his previous birth worshipped me with undivided devotion. He prayed sincerely for the removal of his poverty. I appeared in his dream and asked him to come to Pitikapuram. I asked him to receive a copper vessel from my hands, and for that he should pay 10 varas to Srishti and thereby free him from the bondage. He did what I instructed him to do and become fortunate. I blessed that his financial problems may be solved in an unimaginable manner. He was moving in the guise of an ascetic to avoid trouble from those who lent him money. Thus it ought to be clear that I know everything about that ascetic. This Subir Shrestri tried to collect 10 varas from our family unjustly. I arranged 10 varas to him, but to compensate it, I withdrew all the good fortune earned by him in his earlier life. Subir Shrestri, I know of your amorous affairs with Chintamani and all your vulgar and indecent acts. Your story will remain as a comedy in the human history. You will live selling eatables, carrying them in a small wooden basket. You will sell them to small children like me. My parents arrange meals to the relatives with the money received from you. I know better than you about the false calculations while determining the interest for the money lent. The money given by you was sufficient just to cook food. Dal and lufa for the relatives, the hard-earned money of my father was used to procure other materials for the meals for the relatives. When you meet with a miserable state and you cannot even get good otherwise, this copper vessel will supply you with only water, rice, dal and lufa. Only that much food sufficient for you to eat and to serve any other would be available. Sripada spoke very strongly. The countenance of Sripada was formidable with divine brilliance. His eyes looked like good globes to fire. Then he said again, Subir Shrestri, a buffalo would come to the southern gate of your house this night. That is a message sent by Yamadharma Raja that your death is very near, but I am showing you mercy. Feed that buffalo with rice, dal and lufa that was cooked with your own hands. That buffalo has only this wish. After eating, the buffalo would die instead of you. From that moment, you would receive intimation after intimation that you are becoming terribly impoverished. Take the basket and follow my instructions. When you come across a situation where you cannot get even rice, this copper vessel will help you. I show you mercy. Thus spoke Sripada with the stern voice. Venkatapaya Shrestri was frightened, seeing an angry Sripada. Then Sripada said, Grandfather, are you afraid? I am actually Narasimha Murthy. Let there be no doubt. My nature is that of Sripada and Srivallabha. You are thinking that I will curse that Vaishya caste. You are agitated that I will curse all Vaishyas to become poor, just as Mother Vasavi gave the curse. That Vaishyas would have less beauty, don't fear. God will not differentiate caste and creed. In the same way, a devotee has no differentiation of caste and race. My relationship with the Arya Vaishyas is very old. Bapnarya was Lavada Maharshi in the previous Yuga. I am granting you a boon. Even when the lineage of Lavada Maharshi in Vaishyas get extinct, I am blessing the family of Bapnarya till the end of Kali Yuga. I am giving you a different kind of basket. The basket is full of datta sweets. Even when you give those library, the stock of sweets will not diminish. This will be visible to the naked eye, as all the 32 attributes of Narasimha are in me. Mine is the 33rd incarnation. Therefore, during the 33rd generation of your family, during the 33rd generation of Sri Bapnaraya's family, and during the 33rd generation of Sri Vatsayi Narasimha's family, my padukas would be installed exactly at the place of my birth in the house of Sri Bapnaraya when I was born. This is my assurance to the families of Vatsavi, Maladi and Sri Venkatapaya Shrestri. If anybody in your families adores the divine magnificent form of Sripada Srivallabha in any of the traditional ninefold devotion methods, the dogs of Datta would stand as sentinels to them. In an invisible form, Vedas, Purans and Upanishads constantly protect them as invisible haunts and in other invisible forms. My padukas will not be installed in Pitikapuram in any other way except the way I said today. I will always be bound to my promise. Our house gets handed down through many hands and will reach your descendants. This will be called as Datta Nilayam. I came in the form of Avaduta and asked Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi and gave darshan to Sumati Mata in front of his house. The Venkatabhaya Shashti hugged Sripada to his bosom. Tears of joy showered from his eyes. Sri Bapnare was dumbfounded. Mother Sumati fell into doubt whether it was a dream or a divine illusion. Appalraja Sharma's mind became mute. The two brothers of Sripada were looking at Sripada with awe. They were thinking whether he was their brother of Lord Datta. They wondered at the strange event. There was no limit to my stupidity and a habit of ridiculing others. So I said, Sripada, when the rays of Shakti took human form, they were present as the wives of Krishna. Was it not a fascinating for women? It is said to be a divine play in case of incarnation, but in our case, it is said to be a fascination for women. What is preconception? Sripada spoke thus. Sri Krishna had 8 wives and 16,000 gopikas. Still, he remained a bachelor celibate. He was not a womanizer as you think. It was not at all a bodily relationship as you think. There were all wives in terms in the relationship of the soul. The soul that was supported was his wife, and the soul that was providing the support was the husband. What was there more than doubt? When Devendra was cursed to take a human form, Sat Devi was born as Draupadi. Devendra assumed 5 forms and was born as 5 Pandavas. Even though Draupadi was having 5 husbands, she had congruent relation only with Arjuna. Dharma is one thing and subtle dharma is entirely different. Mother Kunti did not have the habit of speaking untruth. Only Arjuna hit the fish in the contest, and Draupadi chose Arjuna only in the contest. A virtuous wife should have 6 attributes. Her figure should resemble Lakshmi. Draupadi had abundant grace. She must have the patience of Mother Earth. Sahadeva knew all the events that were to take place in the future. He knew that the battle between Kauravas and Pandavas had to be fought. But before that great event, many other incidents had to occur. Then Sri Narasimha Varma took Sripada into his lap. Sripada said to Sri Varma, Grandpa, we will go in your horse carriage tomorrow and visit our farmlands. Mother Earth there has been praying me eagerly from many days. Lord Sripada, will you not make me holy with the touch of your feet? You have the title of Savior of the suffering, is it not? There were many sorrowful incidents among them. He was extremely vexed whenever he thought about them. Therefore, Draupadi conducted herself with lot of patience when dealing with Sahadeva. Bhima was a glutton. As he was consuming enormous quantities of food, he became very indolent. Therefore, he was lazy even to do his own work. So Draupadi behaved like a servant in her conduct with Bhima. Dharmaraja was the eldest among the Pandavas. Many political problems used to trouble his mind. So Draupadi acted like a minister and offered good advice to him. Nakula was an expert swordsman who used to fight with utmost speed. He was able to wield the sword between 2 raindrops with such dexterity that it used to not get wet in spite of the rain. Because of the strenuous practice connected with the keen skill in martial arts, he used to become extremely hungry. Draupadi used to prepare tasty food items and serve them to him. The preparation were giving satisfaction to his mind and were suited for his practice of the battlecraft. Just as a mother would understand the preferences of her child and serve eatable victuals without his asking, Draupadi used to deal with Nakula. She used to keep Arjuna happy in providing conjugal bliss. She was excelling Ramba in the art of the comfort of the bed. Though she had 5 husbands, she gave the comfort of bed only to Arjuna, without breaking dharma. Subhaya Shrestri, you concubine Chintamani gave sexual pleasure not only to you, but also the Bilva Mangala and many others as well. When you visit Panakala Narasimha Swami in Mangalgiri of Guntur region, you will come across Chintamani and Bilva Mangala there due to causes of time and fate. You will bring them to Pitikapuram, then I will preach you all about righteousness. Then Then Sri Varma said, "My dear Sripada, I have a small request. We have our lands near Sri Pitikapuram. I want to form a village there and have the fields cultivated by those villagers. I want to give those lands to the villagers for a low rate of lease. I would like to appoint your father as the village official to supervise the affairs of that state. Your family does not have the village official post for Ainavali now. Is it not?" Sripada lawfully said, "Grandfather, you thought about your village office, but you did not think about my office. This is not acceptable to me. First, you will ask me to work as that village official. In such a case, the history will record only that Gandhikota Sripada Srivallabha Raja Sharma was a mere official of a particular village. But my office extends over the whole universe. I keep my own accounts. Every day, crores of heaps of punya diamonds and ornaments are expended. The purpose of my incarnation is to move the kundalini of the universe. Villages, towns and holy places also have kundalinis in the same way as individuals. This secret yoga can only be understood by those who know the Sandra Sindhu Veda. The kundalini of Pitikapuram can be shaken only in the 33rd generation of Bapnarya. Find a Venkatapaya Shrishti and Vatsavai families. Why hurry now? Make the best use of every moment of this great sacred opportunity that is fortunately available to you. My dear Shankar Bhatt, Sri Narasimha Varma tried to keep Sripada in Pitikapuram permanently in this way. Part 4. The glory of Sripada. Ignorance of a high degree was in me. As Sripada declared that he was verily Sri Krishna himself, I questioned out of ignorance in a jeering tone. "Sripada, you are saying that you are Krishna, then are you having 8 wives and 16,000 gopikas in his incarnation also?" Then Sripada said with a smile, "My eightfold nature represents 8 wives. My incarnation is the one with 16 comprehensive potencies. Every minute, powerful vibrations emanate in all 10 directions from the body and mind of this divine supreme soul called Sripada Srivallabha incarnation. In this manner, 10 into 10 into 10 is equal to 1000. Vibration get released each minute for each potency from my body, mind and Atma. Like this from out of the 16 potencies. A total of 16,000 pulsations emanate each minute. All these are my 16,000 gopikas. In the previous incarnation, all of them took human form. In this incarnation, they remain formless but dynamic and vibrating. There is nothing wrong even if my various forms of divinity are worshipped. It amounts to worshipping me. One can adore my Shiva form, Vishnu form or Brahma form. Likewise, one can worship the different forms of God within me. Several kinds of spiritual practices, different stages of progress by the spiritual seekers, and causes of time and action influence the evolution of life. Sripada explained thus. Narasimha Varma had a vision of 32 forms of Narasimha. They were Kundapada Narasimha Murti, Kopa Narasimha Murti, Divya Narasimha Murti, Brahmanda Narasimha Murti, Samudra Narasimha Murti, Vishwa Rupa Narasimha Murti, Krura Narasimha Murti, Veera Narasimha Murti, Vibhasa Narasimha Murti, Rudra Narasimha Murti, Dhumra Narasimha Murti, Vani Narasimha Murti, Vyagra Narasimha Murti, Bidala Narasimha Murti, Bhima Narasimha Murti, Patala Narasimha Murti, Akasha Narasimha Murti. Vakra Narasimha Murti, Chakra Narasimha Murti, Sankar Narasimha Murti, Sattvas Narasimha Murti, Avadhuta Narasimha Murti, Vega Narasimha Murti, Vidhana Narasimha Murti, Yogananda Narasimha Murti, Lakshmi Narasimha Murti, Bhadra Narasimha Murti, Raja Narasimha Murti, Vallabha Narasimha Murti. Later he saw Sripada Srivallabha as the Narasimha Murti, the incarnation of Sri Narasimha Saraswati as the Narasimha Murti, and Swami Samartha living in Sri Pajnapura as the Narasimha. Part 5. The Story of Srinivasa. My dear one, tomorrow is a very sacred day. It is a month of Kanya and the star is Shravana. On Monday during Dwadashi and Siddha Yoga time, Sri Venkateshwar emerged as an adorable form in the year Vilambi during Vaishakha Suddha Saptami. He obtained monetary assistance from Kubera and executed a loan instrument. Sri Padmavati Devi was born in Mrigashira star and Srinivasa was born in Shravana star. The marriage of Srinivasa took place in the month of Vaishakha on Shuddha Dashami day in Uttara Falguni star. Lord Srinivasa also incarnated in the lineage of Bharadwaja. Akasha Maharaj was born to a snake named Tusudhanva of the Pandava family. Tondamam was his brother. Vasudhanu was also a son of Aksharaj. On the advice of sage Agastya, Lord Srinivasa divided the kingdom equally to Vasudhanu and Tondaman. Thus spoke Subhya Shrishti. Subhya Shrishti said to me, "Take rest today. We will chant the divine name of Sripada Srivallabha all throughout the night. Tomorrow is a very sacred day according to the science of astrology. Tomorrow I will narrate the extremely amazing sportive plays of Sripada. I will explain how Chintamani and Bilvamangala were brought to Pitikapuram, how Sri Guru showed them mercy, how a village was built as a mark of the strange plays exhibited by Sripada in the fields of Sri Narasimha Varma, and how that village became famous by the name Chitrada. I will also explain in detail about the strange and peculiar things to happen in future times and about the sportive plays of Sripada before his final incarnation as Kalki." Having said that, he took me to a cottage nearby. There were 2 mats made of leaves of a date tree. 4 dogs of high breed were standing guard to the cottage. Part 6. The fruits of meditation of Sripada. The divine plays of Sripada are not accomplished by others. They are appealing to the heart in a very happy manner. By simply remembering him, heaps of seeds amassed from many birds will be burned to ashes. Victory unto Sripada Srivallabha.